Peace to the guys, peace to the gods. How y'all doing today? It's Kevin the Great. Whew. Just came from a morning walk, got to clear my mind a little bit, especially before we jump on and just started talking. So I got Getting Unstuck Part 2 was on my mind today. And so we're gonna get started there. First thing first, let's talk about what is, or basically what this whole thing is going to be about, is what is faith? What does your faith have to do with you being unstuck or getting stuck? What is faith? So, question that I have for you is when it comes down to us talking about weird stuff that has happened in your life, have you ever had a situation to where everything that you thought or something that you thought happened exactly the way that you thought it would happen? Yeah, me too. It did before, and at one point I stopped and I thought, I was like, man, like, am I some type of superhero? Because this happened to me so many times. I would have something take place, and in my mind before it happened, I thought that happened, right? And it happened exactly how I thought it, and then it becoming to a point where it happened so many times that I just thought, hey, whatever it is that I think is just going to be what it is. Obviously, there's certain levels and certain ceilings that get put on a thought like that for you, especially when you don't really understand the powers of what you're talking about. But the first thing that I want to talk about, in terms of that goes, is faith, as far as getting unstuck. And so when we talk about faith, the biggest problem or the biggest things I see from people is they're not understanding that faith is there no matter what. So your faith can be used or will be used either positively or negatively, right? And most people don't understand that you can use faith negatively. You can. Faith is nothing more than what you believe in with a strong passion, right? So if you believe in something with a strong passion and, you actually put whatever actions, such as your attitude, your mental attitude behind it, such as the way you carry your body language, then you start putting those motions in action for exactly what you thought to happen. So you're a lot more powerful than you think. We talk about thoughts. Thoughts are things, right? And so if I took this pin right here and I threw this pin inside of a lake, what you'll see happen is bloop, and there's a bunch of ripples that start from that. Well, it's the same effect that happens with your thoughts, both positively and negatively, right? And so what's important to know is, since that's what's happening with your thoughts positively and negatively, you have to have a gatekeeper at the gate of your mind saying, hey, I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to filter what it is that I think, right? The moment that a negative thought comes up, dismiss it. Because if you don't, what you start to see is that being a seed. And the thing about seeds, some land on fertile ground and take root. Some don't land on fertile ground. But the whole point is that the more you believe it, the more fertile ground that it actually lands on. So I'll give you an example, right? Some of us, I know when I was a lot younger, I was afraid of driving, right? And not scared to drive, but there's a double yellow line in the middle of the road. And in my mind, I've always said, that double yellow line won't ever stop a car from coming over. So if a car's coming towards me and I'm going this way, I've always want to get over into this other lane, thinking that, obviously I have enough room between. The real problem really comes in is that just having faith, right? So I started learning and exercising faith at the point, when I actually understood what it was at a very small point, which was driving, and just having faith that when I pass inside of this lane that's closest to the opposite car that's coming to me, that this car won't come over to me. And I thought it so much and believed it so much that now it's second nature. I never even think about if a car is going to come over from the other lane. And that's kind of how you would have to train your mind. You want to start from very small points of whatever it may be. So one of the biggest things that people don't understand is, right, when we talk about faith, it's the things that you say and believe out of your mouth. So a lot of people, make this mistake, just in common conversation, we're just talking to each other, and maybe you say something that's incorrect, and you're just like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm so stupid. No, you're not. And stop saying that to yourself. Because the more you say that to yourself, the more it's okay, and you become relaxed with it, right? And I had to understand that too. The smallest things you say out of your mouth mean the most. the biggest things you say out of your mouth mean the same thing as the smaller things that you don't think that you that matters. And so what I'm trying to get you to understand here is the concept of faith. When we talk about faith, you can use it positively or you can use it negatively, right? And I'm here to just encourage you to make sure that if you're using your faith, which you should be in all circumstances, use it positively. Right now, let's talk about what's going on, in the world, like, some current events, right? There's this little craze that's going on about coronavirus. And I guess I shouldn't say that on YouTube. Hopefully they don't block my video, right? But there's this little craze going on about this thing. That's a virus that, at the end of the day, in terms of what effect that has on your life, it should have very little. I mean, obviously we can't prevent, outside situations from happening, like, businesses shutting down. Hopefully none of you were affected by, any jobs closing down and you not having work or not, because, obviously it's a little harder to, listen to this video that I'm making right now, talking about faith. But I mean, this is even if you did go through that situation, this is the supreme time to exercise your faith. And the reason why is because you can make anything happen that you want as long as you believe it and you work hard enough to go towards it, right? Anything. A lot of people that know me probably think it's a funny thing because I guess I can kind of just be a little bit forward with you guys. So I was reading the Bible, and there was a few things here that I took down as notes, right? Now, obviously, I'm not an expert on the Bible. I think the Bible's a really good doctrine to be able to learn lessons from, especially in terms of, Jesus. Jesus, he spoke a lot of things that I think even the people in the Christian community kind of, it flies over your head in terms of faith. And so when we talk about, just really quickly here, right, the authority you have, a lot of us give our authority away to other people. Let's say, for example, if we work at a job, we give our authority to our boss, when technically you're the boss. You're the one who decided to wake up in the morning. You signed the paper. You signed the application. Nobody drug you there, right? So it's your conscious decision to be there, or it's your conscious decision to make the decision to get up every morning and show up, right? Nobody can do that for you. It doesn't matter how ball and chain they think they have you, or how much they think that if they threaten your job that it will mean something to you. Because at the end of the day, you're in control of everything, right? And when I say everything, I literally mean everything. Right here, it says on Mark 2:10, right? It talks about Son of Man having the authority to forgive sins. It even says Mark 2:28, Son of Man is the Lord even on the Sabbath day. So you're saying that the Son of Man, that's me and you, is the Lord even on the Sabbath day. Right, even on the day that's supposed to be kept holy. So you're telling me that I'm in control, period. That means me and you are controlling everything in our destiny. And so it's up to me and you to make sure that we make decisions. And like I said, I'm not an expert on the Bible. I'm more of a spiritual person than I am religious. And so, but I just think, like I said, it is a really good doctrine of reading. If you look at it from a pair of eyes of understanding that you're the one that's in control, I think you'll get a lot more from it. But my whole point in saying that to you is that everything that we do in terms of how we move, where it is that we stay, the things that happen in our life is not totally in our control, but how we react to it determines all of the outcome from it, right? And so my whole point in saying all of this to you is this: make sure you're exercising your faith positively. And make sure that you're making other people exercise their faith positively. And if somebody comes to you and says something negative to you, make sure you dismiss it and try to keep them on a positive note. What you'll end up finding out is that a lot of people may not end up liking you because of it, but they can't have too many bad things to say about you. They might not deal with you, but that's okay, because you don't want that negative person in your life anyway, right? You want positivity in your life. Because guess what? If my positive force meets with your positive force, we have double that positive force where we both can work towards that end goal. I have enough power on my own to do it. But now if I have an additional person that's on the same page as me, we can now work towards that same goal. And that's what you should look for in your life. That's called a mastermind group, right? And, try to minimize, obviously, your own personal problems in that mastermind group. But that's a whole different topic for another time. The whole point I'm just saying to you guys is that, hey, you guys, and that's why I say peace to the gods in the beginning. You guys are in control of everything. If you're a Christian, go check out these verses that I just gave, which was Mark 2:10 and also Mark 2:28. And I would encourage you to read the whole chapter. So that way you get a perspective on what's going on instead of like, this is my problem. If I go to a church, I have a problem with you jumping from this verse, this verse, this verse. See, I read it as if it's a story, right? Just to understand what is going on. And so I give you these verses to understand, so it highlights. So when you go through it and you actually read what it is that I'm saying, you'll understand what I'm saying about your faith. It's all based off of what it is that you do, how you feel on the inside. You cannot doubt yourself. You cannot doubt the things that you want in your life. You cannot sit here and say, whew, I need a better job, but there ain't no jobs out here hiring. How do you expect for your inner thoughts and belief to ever pursue something better for you if you're already telling yourself in your mind that it can't happen? There's nothing hiring. Your mind quits. It's like, hey, I might as well not even try. There's nothing for me to work towards. But if you keep that faith, right, and you apply it in those situations, it's okay. I understand the market's looking bad, but I'm in control. I'm the individual that can make this happen, to where now you start to see that rain change for you into sunshine. Another thing about faith, right? You can have some bad stuff happen to you. I got into an accident where I got hit on like it was a scooter or whatnot, and then a truck came over into my lane and hit me. I had on no helmet, no protective gear, anything. I landed on my head, my shoulder. This was just on February 24th of 2020. And so, obviously I'm here. I have nothing cut open. I have no busted head. And well, a majority of that is, I believe, just because of my faith. Because at the time that it happened, I had limited control. But the control I did have knew that I was going to be okay. And so, here I am in front of you. And I can honestly tell you, through living through that situation, even though, yes, I was going 45 miles an hour. I got hit by a truck. I had on no helmet. But as I was flying through the air, there's two things that could have happened. I could have seen my death, or I could have seen me surviving. Only thing I saw was me surviving, and the things that I didn't do that I needed to make sure that I got on the ball with, because this was just a wake-up call for me that life isn't promised. So I need to push myself and then apply my faith. And this is a lot of where this information that I'm starting to put out that I already knew that I just, kind of wasn't giving out is coming from. And so that's my whole point of what I'm just saying today. This is the second part of getting unstuck, how to use your faith. Down below in the description, I know we didn't talk about any opportunities or anything like that, but in the description I will have, just a few websites for you guys to check out if you want to do so. There's a couple of income opportunities. One that for as little as $25, you can own a system and get paid unlimited amounts of commission without having to pay additional monthly fees. There's a few other ones there as well. What I'll do is I'll put the links in the description for you guys to check out. And then just go ahead and check them out. If you guys have any questions, go ahead. You can also comment on this video. If you found value from this video, please also subscribe. I would appreciate that very much. And as I continue to put out good and valuable content, hope that you guys continue to be blessed by the information that I put out. And, that's all I got for you guys today. Peace to the gods. I hope you guys are all taking care in this world of madness and keeping your faith. All right, guys, take care. Keeping it great here.